some more Scoundrel. I got several requests from people asking me to return to this game, and I really enjoyed playing it the first time, so I thought it would be fun to return to it, but this time I wanted to look at some variants. So it's going to be a little different from last time. We're using this Mythology of Egyptian deck from Moyo Games, which is a Chinese company. And unfortunately, I'm not well versed in Egyptian mythology, so I'm not going to be able to recognize any of the gods or goddesses, except I think this might be Anubis and this might be Ra. I am not certain of that at all. If you are knowledgeable about Egyptian mythology, feel free to flex in the comments. For this first variant, we are not going to need the jokers, but we will need the rest of the deck. In the normal version of Scoundrel, you remove all the red face cards and all the red aces, but this variant will use all of them. So the whole deck except the jokers. I have a cheat sheet here, which basically describes all the differences between normal Scoundrel and the variant that we're going to be playing today, which is called Scoundrel Plus. I found this version online. You can play it in your browser, and I think there is also a printed rule set somewhere, but I could not find it, so these rules are adapted from the online version. To start, we have the Relics. These are the red face cards in the aces. When we find one of these cards, we can use it in the card room. So let's say we come across a red ace. We can use it to kill one monster in the room. Similarly, if we find a queen, the next potion that we use in the room will heal us +3. But if we use the queen and we don't use a potion in that room, it does not carry over to the next room. These relics only affect the room that they were used in. The other big difference here are the character classes. We can choose a class, and depending on which class we choose, there are some differences in how the game functions. The peasant is the default class, and is just the standard Scoundrel gameplay, which, by the way, if you don't know the rules of Scoundrel, I will link my first video in the description, but will also go over them in this video as well. But maybe not in as much detail as last time. I'm just going to kind of explain the mechanics as we go, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along if you haven't seen that video. So the fighter starts with 5 more HP than the peasant, but cannot run from battles. The rogue starts with 3 less max HP, but gets +1 damage added to every weapon they use. The cleric starts with 2 less max HP, but all potions heal an extra point of damage. The berserker has 35 max HP instead of 20, but you cannot heal for the entire run. And the cheat is basically the standard gameplay, except you can run from as many rooms as you want. We're going to play 2 games of Scoundrel Plus today, and we're going to play as the rogue and the cleric, which are the 2 classes I think are the most interesting. I haven't played the fighter yet, but it seems really difficult. 5 HP isn't really that much extra, and not being able to run from any room seems extremely difficult. Maybe we'll play that one in another video. But for today, we're gonna do the rogue and the cleric. And this time, I actually have a D20 to track our life with. I thought this would be cool to use, but also it means that you don't have the nice sounds of the mini cards, so let me know if you would prefer me to go back to the cards the next time I play this, or if you like the D20. So I'm gonna put this off to the side and we're gonna shuffle the deck. And I'll go over the rules a little bit while we shuffle. So, the goal of Scoundrel is to reach the end of the dungeon. The dungeon is the deck of cards. You deal out cards in groups of 4, and each group of 4 cards is called a room. Rooms can contain monsters, weapons, potions, or relics. And in order to move on to the next room, you must use 3 of the 4 cards in the room. If you don't like what's in the room and don't want to deal with it, you can skip the room by taking all the cards and putting them to the bottom of the deck and drawing 4 more cards. However, you can only do this 1 room at a time. You cannot run from 2 rooms in a row. After you run from a room, you must take the next room. And if you can't survive the next room, then you lose. That is, of course, unless you are playing as the cheat, and then you can run as many times as you want. You have a life counter, which is going to be this die right here. And if it reaches 0, you lose the game. And I'll explain how combat works once we get started. Okay, so let's start our first game of Scoundrel Plus. And remember, we are playing as the Rogue, so we start with 17 HP instead of 20. And our weapons deal 1 additional damage. So let's draw our first room. Okay. So, clubs and spades are monsters, diamonds are weapons, and hearts are health potions. But red face cards and aces are relics, which have the effects that I described before, and I'll go over them again once we see them. The black face cards are monsters. Jacks have the value of 11, queens 12, kings 13, and aces 14. To start off this game, we're going to equip the 3 of diamonds. This is a weapon, so this will allow us to take less damage when we fight enemies. And let's do that now. We're going to fight the 5. So, the way combat damage works is you take the value of the enemy and you subtract the value of the weapon and you take the difference in damage. So normally 5 minus 3 would be 2. We would take 2 damage, but we're playing as the Rogue, so this 3 of diamonds acts as a 4 of diamonds, so we only take 1 damage, bringing us down to 16 HP. Once you fight an enemy with a weapon, you may only fight enemies of lower value with the same weapon. So we can only fight a 4, 3, or 2 with this 3 of diamonds. If we want to fight a higher monster, we need a new weapon. 2 is less than 5, so we can fight the 2 of clubs with our 3 of diamonds, and we take no damage. Now we've dealt with 3 of the 4 cards in the room, so we can move on. We draw 3 new cards. And this is our next room. Now, since we fought a 2 enemy with this 3, there are no enemies weaker than 2, so that means this weapon is basically done, and we'll discard it. We'll never be able to fight another enemy with that weapon, so we may as well just discard it now. Now we did not draw another weapon, but we did draw 2 enemies. What we're going to do is we're going to fight this 3 barehanded. If you fight an enemy without a weapon, you take their full value in damage, so that would drop me to 13 HP. Then we're going to use the 4 health potion to bring us back up to our max, which is 17 HP. Now we still need to get rid of 1 card, and I'm going to use the other health potion. However, you are only allowed to heal from 1 health potion per room. You can still use another health potion, but you don't gain any health for it. And it just so happens that we were at max health anyways, so we wouldn't have gained health anyways. So that's 3 of the 4 cards dealt with. So we draw our next room. Now we drew a weapon and a couple tough monsters. Let's start by equipping the 7, and then we'll fight the Jack. The Jack has a value of 11. Minus 7 is 4, but we are a rogue, so we take 3 damage, bringing us down to 14 HP. Now I'm going to fight this 8 here, and we take no damage. Now let's draw the next room. We drew a relic. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this king. The king relic allows you to replace 1 card with a card from the top of the deck. So we're going to discard the king. Then we're going to take this 8 of hearts and place it at the bottom of the deck and draw a new card from the top to replace it. Now we still need to get rid of 2 cards, so I'm going to play this 8 of hearts to bring us back up to our max HP, which is 17. Sorry, sometimes I have trouble finding the number on here. I haven't used many D20s, so I don't have all the positions of the numbers memorized. And then we're going to equip the 4 of diamonds, and when you equip a weapon, you must discard your old weapon. So that's 3 of the 4 cards used. We'll draw the next room again. We get a pretty tough monster card, 2 pretty tough monster cards. So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna fight the 5 with the 4 plus 1, so we take no damage. Then let's equip the 8 of diamonds, and we'll fight the king of clubs. So this is a value of 13. We have 9 damage, so we take 4 damage, putting us at 13 HP. And we'll draw the next room. Now we drew an ace relic. We can play the ace relic to kill 1 card for free. And then I'm going to fight this 4 barehanded. So we drop to 9 HP. This queen relic lets us get a +3 bonus to our next health potion used. We don't need that right now, so I think we're going to save it. But we will fight this 10, and we take 1 damage, putting us at 8 HP. Then I'm going to fight the 6. We take no damage. And then I'm going to use the 10 health potion, putting us up to max HP again. 17. We can fight the 4, taking no damage. Then I'm going to use the queen relic and the 2 of hearts, but we're already at max HP. This is the Jack relic, which allows us to instantly run from any room. Now, as I mentioned before, you can only run from 1 room at a time, but a Jack basically lets you break this rule and run whenever you want. You can also run mid-room, so normally you have to decide if you want to run from a room before you deal with any of the cards. But when you have a jack, you're allowed to play some of the cards and then play the jack and run away. I think we're just gonna play the jack right away though. Let's see what this next room has. I'm going to play the 2, so we discard our old weapon. Then the 5, so we discard this 2. And then I'm going to fight the 7, and we take 1 damage. Because we get +1. I'm going to fight the 6. We take no damage. Then I'm going to fight the 8 barehanded. So we take 8 damage, bringing us down to 8 HP. Then I'm going to use the 9 of hearts as a health potion, bringing us back up to our max HP of 17. Looks like we've got our first ace monster here. First, let's take out this 2 with our 5. Then I'm going to play the 10 of diamonds, getting rid of our old weapon, and now we'll fight the ace. We deal 11 damage, the ace is worth 14, so we take 3 damage overall. Okay. Now once again we get the ace relic, which lets us kill 1 enemy. And then I'm going to fight the 3 barehanded. So we go down to 11 HP. And draw again. I think I'm just gonna play the jack and run from this room. I want to find a king to fight with this 10 before we fight the jack. That is a king, but it's a red king, so it's not a monster, it is a relic. Now I'm going to play this king, and I'm going to replace the 9. And let's see what we get. Ooh, we get another ace. So I'm going to fight the 9 with the 10, and then I'm going to replace the 10 with the 6. I wish we could have gotten more use out of that 10, but I'm not sure what else we could have done there. Maybe we could have ran. I'm going to fight the ace with the 6. So we have 7 damage versus the ace's 14. We take 7, putting us down to 4 HP. Now I'm going to use the queen. This gives us a +3 on our next health potion. And then I'm going to use the 7 of hearts. So we gain 7 plus 3, putting us at 14 HP. I'm going to fight this king with the 6. So king 13 minus 7 is 6, so we're at 8 HP. Then I'm going to fight the 10. We take 3 more damage, putting us at 5 HP. And then I'm going to use the 6 of hearts, which brings us back up to 11. Draw the next room. And I'm going to run from this room because I think I cannot survive it. Okay, so I'm going to fight the 9 with the 6. So we take 2 damage, putting us at 8 HP. Then I'm going to equip the 9. We discard that weapon, and then use the 5 health potion, putting us at 13 HP. Now, many rules of the game say that once there are not enough cards in the dungeon to draw a new room, you automatically win the game. But, like I said in my last video, I'm sort of a completionist, and to me the game isn't truly won until you've killed dungeon. So we're gonna fight these last two monsters before we finish. We'll start with the Jack. We deal 10 damage, so we take 1 HP of damage, bringing us down to 12. And then we fight the 7 and we take no damage, and we have won the game with 12 HP remaining. So our final score is 12. Pretty good first game, a good showing from the rogue. Now, the next game we're going to play again, but we're going to play as the Cleric. And like I said, the Cleric starts with 18 HP, but their potions heal an extra point of damage. So let's put our health at 18 and shuffle the deck again. So, I thought these variants were really interesting because I really enjoyed playing Scoundrel last time. I think the core gameplay is just really well designed. And sometimes just making a tiny little spin on the formula can add enough variety to the game to make it feel quite different. I would definitely know, considering that I play dozens of patience games, most of which use very similar mechanics to one another, but have enough slight differences that they feel strategically very different. Alright, let's do one more shuffle, and then we'll start our second game of Scoundrel Plus as the Cleric. Alright, let's deal our first room. So right off the bat we have 3 enemies and no weapons. So I think I'm not gonna run. I think I'm gonna fight the 5 and the 4 barehanded. So we take 9 damage. Then I'm going to use the 7 health potion, but we get +1, so we heal 8. So in total we take 1 point of damage, putting us at 17 HP. Let's draw the next room. Hopefully we get a weapon. We did not, and I think I'm just gonna run. We did get that ace, which would allow us to kill 1 enemy, but we would still have to deal with the other 2. And we would take a lot of damage. I actually don't even know if we could survive. So we finally get a weapon. Not an amazing weapon, but it'll do. We'll equip the 6 and fight the Queen. We take 6 damage, putting us down to 11. Then I'm going to use the 5 health potion. +1 restores 6 HP, putting us at 17 HP. Let's draw again. I'm going to use our 6 to fight the 8. We take 2 damage. And then the 6, we take no damage. And then I'm just going to play the Jack. So we run from the rest of the room, which was just the health potion. And we get the other Jack, and I think I'm going to use it because we definitely can't deal with this ace and king. So I'm going to fight the 2 and since we fought a 2, that means our weapon is now useless, so we'll just discard it. Then I'll fight the Jack barehanded. So we take 11 damage, putting us at 4 HP, which is a little alarming, but oh, we actually can't use the Queen and the 3, because if we use one of these cards, the room is over. So if I use the Queen, we go to the next room, and then I don't get the +3 bonus for the 3. So I think I'm actually just going to play the 3 on its own and let the Queen carry over into the next room. So we go to 7 HP, and hopefully we get another potion in this room. We did. Nice. So let's play the Queen. Then the 4. So we get 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 because we're a Cleric is 8. 8 plus 7 means our HP is 15. And then we'll equip the 10, and hopefully we get something strong to fight with it. And we did not, so I'm going to run from this room. Nice, that's exactly what we wanted. Perfect. So let's fight the Ace. We take 4 damage, putting us down to 11 HP. Then we'll fight the King. We take 3 more damage, putting us down to 8. And then I will use the 9 health potion. We heal 9 plus 1 because we're a Cleric, putting us at 18 HP, which is our max. Now I'm actually going to run from this room because there are 2 weapons here, which means we would have to discard our 10. So instead, I'm going to run and we're going to keep our 10. So we'll fight this 10 and we take no damage. Then I'm going to fight the 4 barehanded, bring us down to 14. But then I'm going to play the 8 of hearts, which would bring us back up to 18. And we will draw the next room. Okay, so I'm going to fight the 7. We take no damage. Fight the 6. We take no damage. And then I'm going to equip the 7. Let's fight the Queen with the 7. Queen is worth 12, so we take 5 damage, putting us down to 13. Then I'm going to fight the 2 barehanded, putting us down to 11. And then I'm going to use the 2 of hearts, so we heal 3 HP, putting us up to 14. I think I'm going to run from this because I wanted monsters to fight, ideally, and we didn't get any. This is better. So let's fight the Jack. We take 4 damage, putting us down to 10. Then I'll fight the 9. We take 2 damage, putting us down to 8. Then I'm going to use this 6 of hearts, so we gain 7 HP back, which puts us up to 15. I'm going to use the Ace to kill the 10, and then I'm going to fight the 8 with the 7, so we take 1 HP of damage. Alright, I think we have to run from this one because we have nothing to fight that Ace with. I hope we get something to fight that King with. We did not, but we got a King Relic. So let's play the King Relic and replace the King enemy with a 7. That's perfect. We'll fight the 7. We take no damage. Then we'll fight the 3. And we also take no damage. And we draw our of them, so I think I'm actually going to take a bit of a risk and run from this. Now, that can be bad because it means now we have a bunch of helpful items at the bottom of the deck. But hopefully, I think we still have a 9 of diamonds. So hopefully we get that before we get our big monsters again. So let's equip the 3. And we'll fight the 5 with the 3, so we take 2 damage. And then I will use the king to replace the ace, although it's the last card in the room, so I don't think it really matters. Anyways, we will draw the next room. Let's fight the 3, then equip the 4, and then use this 10 of hearts, which puts us back up to max HP. There's the ace, and we should be getting a king as well. So, we will equip the 9. Yes, I'm going to equip the 9. I wasn't sure if I wanted to fight the 9 with the 4 first, but we're gonna wait on the 9. We fight the ace, so we take 5 damage, putting us at 13 HP. Then we fight the king. We take 4 damage, putting us down to 9. We'll fight the 9, and we take no damage. Then I'm gonna equip the 2, and then the 5. And there are no monsters left in the dungeon, so we have won our game of Scoundrel Plus as the Cleric. So that was pretty interesting. I think this is a pretty fun variant. Adds a little extra flavor to the game, uses the whole deck. Okay, so the original plan was to play 2 different variants in this video, and we would play 2 games each. But I looked at the recording, and those last 2 games ended up taking a bit longer than I expected. So instead, I think we're gonna play 1 more game of Scoundrel Plus in this video, and then I'll play the other variant in a future video. So we're going to play as the fighter this time. So we will start with 25 HP. And so I brought over a D6 so that we can have 25. But we cannot run from any rooms. And that is a little concerning to me. Running is a major strategy in this game, knowing when to do it and when not to do it. So I feel like taking that entire element out of the game is going to make things fairly difficult. But we shall see. I think this will be the last shuffle. Alright, let's play our final game of Scoundrel Plus as the fighter and see if we can fight our way through this dungeon. So I'm going to fight the 8 barehanded because we don't have a weapon and we can't run. And then I'm going to heal with the 10, so we heal back the 8 damage. Now, we either have to waste the 4 or the queen. I think it's objectively better to waste the queen, because the queen gives us 3 extra health versus the 4 from the potion. So we will just throw away the queen, unfortunately. So I will equip the 7, but then I'm gonna play the Jack Relic, so we run from the rest of the room. By the way, I'm assuming that the rules say no running, but you are still allowed to run with the Jack Relic. Only normal running is not allowed. and we're not getting any enemies, which is a little annoying. I don't want to waste any of this stuff, so I'm actually gonna play the other Jack Relic and run yet again. Here we go, we get some enemies to fight. Instead of just resources we don't need, we'll fight the Jack. We take 4 damage, bringing us down to 21 HP. Then we'll fight the 10. We take 3 more damage, bringing us down to 18 HP. And then I will fight the 6, and we take no damage from the 6. Let's draw our next room. I'm going to fight the 5. We take no damage. Then I'm going to equip the 5 of diamonds. And then we'll fight the 8, and we take 3 damage, bringing us down to 15 HP. Now I'm actually just realizing that we shouldn't have run from all those resources earlier, because that's actually pretty much as bad as just discarding them. The reason why you would want to run from resources in a normal game is because then you can run from stronger monsters later, and it will put those monsters behind the resource. But we are playing as the fighter, we can't run, so now those resources are just going to be locked behind monsters that we have to get through. So, pretty bad blunder. I'm now realizing it. Hopefully we can still get through the dungeon without any of that stuff that we threw away, but I'm a little bit skeptical. We will see. Let's fight the 5. Then we will equip the 2 and use the 3 to heal, bringing us up to 18 HP. Alright, so let's fight the 4. With the 2, we take 2 damage, bringing us to 16 HP. Then we'll equip the 8 and fight the Ace. So we take 6 damage, bringing us down to 10 HP. Now we can fight the King. We take 5 damage, bringing us down to 5 HP. Things getting a little scary now. And I think we actually will fight the Queen. So now we take 4 damage, we're at 1 HP, and then we fight the 7. I think we lost a 10 health potion because we used the Jack, so it might be over for us. Let's use this 4 of spades, and then the 2 of spades. Sorry, fight the 4 of spades and the 2 of spades. We don't take damage from either of them. This is now useless because we fought a 2 with it, and now we will equip the 6. Oh, thank God. We don't have another queen, do we? Let's use the 9. That brings us to 10 HP. Then we'll fight the 10 with the 6. We take 4 damage, bringing us to 6 HP. And then we'll equip the 3. Things are looking pretty scary, and there are still a lot of cards in this deck. I don't think we're going to be winning this one. I'm going to fight this 9 with the 3. We take 6 damage, then I'm going to use the 7. So we heal 7 damage, so overall we go up by 1, which puts us at 17 HP. 7, sorry, not 17. And I will equip the 10. Oh boy. Let's fight the King. We take 3 damage, bringing us to 4 HP. Then I will fight the 9. We take no damage. And then I will equip the 9 of diamonds. I'm a little scared. Okay, we still did have many of our valuable health potions, it seems. We'll play the 8, bringing us to 12 HP right here. Then we'll fight the 3 and the 2 barehanded. We take 5 damage, putting us to 7 HP. Hopefully, we can use this on a big guy. An ace maybe. Ooh, there he is. He showed up right when we had something to take care of him with. We fight the ace with the ace relic. We take no damage. Perfect, perfect. And let's fight the queen. With the 9, we take 3 damage, putting us at 4 HP. There's our other ace, and a health potion that we very much need. Let's use the ace to kill the jack, and then use the 6 health potion, putting us back up to 10 HP. This has been very tight, very scary. And I think we've actually taken out both of our aces. I don't know how many strong monsters are remaining in the dungeon. We might be home free. The only things that I'm scared of. Let's play the king and replace the 7. Okay, now I'm going to fight the 3 barehanded, dropping us to 7 HP, and then I'm going to play the 5, so we gain 5 back, putting us at 12 HP. Okay, let's, I feel like we still have one big monster in here, but I can't remember for sure. So I'm going to fight the 6 barehanded, then I'm going to play the queen, and I'm going to play the 4 of hearts, so we gained 7 back. We fought the 6 barehanded, and then gained back 7. So overall we gain 1 HP, bringing us to 13. And this is our last monster in the dungeon. We kill it, we take no damage, we end with 13 HP, and because we ended with a potion on the field, we add 2 to our health to get a final score of 15. Awesome. I was actually pretty scared after I realized how big of a mistake I made with those jacks, but luckily we still managed to win, so very nice. That ended up being not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I think the relics are very, very helpful, and tend to make the game easier regardless of which class you're playing as. But I still had a lot of fun playing this variant. There are 3 classes that we didn't play, but really the only other one that I would be interested in playing is the Berserker. For the Peasant, it's pretty much just normal Scoundrel, except with the Relics, which that would pretty much just be an easier version of Scoundrel, and I don't know if I would really enjoy that much. And the cheat is just kind of silly, honestly. I don't think I'll ever play as the cheat. It doesn't seem that interesting. But this variant might come back sometime in the future, and we might give the Berserker a shot. Could be interesting. No healing sounds really tricky. But that's going to be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who has been watching and subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate it. I love reading all the comments and the recommendations for games to play. I always take recommendations. I can't guarantee that every game that gets recommended to me I will be able to play on video, because I can only make so many videos, and I also sometimes have my own plans that I want to do. But your recommendations definitely influence which games I decide to play, so if you would like to see me play a game, please let me know. Some of my current plans, I think my next game is going to be a 2-deck traditional solitaire game, possibly Windmill, we'll see. After that, we're going to play Regicide, and after that, I think we will play some more Klondike, because I recently got a request to play some more Klondike, and I always find that game pretty entertaining, so I'm definitely down to give it some more gameplay. But until then, I hope you have a great night and sleep well. Thanks.